Okay. Good morning, everyone. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Am I audible? Can anyone please
Yes, you are
respond?
audible.
Okay. So I hope you all are doing well today. And I would like to wish you a happy belated Holi. So before starting the class, I would like to give you a brief introduction about myself. I'm Arfeen Usmani, member of ACCA and currently working in an MNC. And I've been tutoring the subject APM and corporate business law in VGLD learning destination. And I would like to say that my goal is to make the subject APM easier and more enjoyable for you all, as I encourage more questioning, discussions, and interactive learning. So, because I believe in having a supportive learning environment where everyone feels free to ask questions. Okay. So, I will appreciate if you all come up with your doubts and questions during the class. And before we start, I would like to hear a little about you all. Anyone wish to come up?
So I'm Sarvapriya. I have given 3 ACCA
Okay,
professional.
Sarvapriya, are you speaking something?
Are you
You're
able to hear
audible?
me? Am I audible?
You're still not audible. No, Sarvapriya, you're not audible.
We can hear you, Sarvapriya.
You can
Even
hear.
faster if you're saying.
I can't.
Am I audible?
Yeah. Yeah, you're audible, but I don't know.
But maybe the problem is ma'am's end.
Might be.
You both are not audible if you're saying.
They are audible to us. I think they are not audible to you.
And Avinash also. Okay, let me have a. Just give me a minute. Okay, now please try once. Any one of you?
Ma'am, are you able to hear me now?
It's fine, yeah.
Hey, so I'm Sarvapriya. I have given 3 ACCA professional level exam
Okay, great.
till now. So this
Okay.
is my last.
Okay.
So I'm
Good.
still awaiting SBL result.
Okay.
But
You have
let's-
attempted as well. Now APM will become more easier for you.
Yeah, hopefully. But people on Reddit and otherwise also have told me that
Yeah.
there would be difference in answer writing. A lot of
Yeah, writing pattern, your answer is different from
Yeah.
but yeah, conceptually, if you are clear with SBL, so it will become easier for you, APM.
will we have a lot of numericals in APM?
No, you don't have numerical questions, you don't have practical in aspect, you don't have to do calculations, all that is not required. You have to apply the different models. It's somewhere you can say more of theoretical, okay?
Okay.
But the answering pattern is more case study based.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So it's good you have attempted 3 exams, so you are aware of the CBE platform and all.
Yes. And right now I'm full-time working, so like I get Saturday and Sunday. So
But you can, yeah.
yeah.
Saturday, Sundays we'll be having class, so simultaneously you can revise also.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Anyone else wants to come up?
Hi, sir.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Myself, Avinash Roth, and I have qualified chartered accountant. I have the 2 year experience and currently working with video. And I have cleared the SBR paper and about to attempt the APM and AFM in June.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you have attempted AFM recently.
No, I have not attempted. There is some due to technical glitch. I'm not able to attend my paper, so I have to get in June now.
Okay, you have to
Yeah.
re-attempt. Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Your voice was not audible.
Okay.
So good. Like both of you are have attempted earlier exams, so you all are aware. Okay, that's good. Anyone else?
I had also attended 2 exams. I had cleared my SBR and AFM's result is awaited.
Okay,
And I'm also chartered accountant having 17 years of experience.
okay,
Yeah.
okay, good, great.
Hi, myself Bhaskar. This is my first ACCA class.
Okay,
I have recently joined, and
okay,
I work for an MNC, London-based MNC.
okay, great. So fine. So most of you have attempted the exam, and those of you who have not attempted, so I'll give you a walkthrough through the CB platform. How is it all about, and what is the introduction of the APM subject as well. So yeah, I'll be sharing my screen right now. So this is the ACCA APM guide from the ACCA itself. So here you can see the various resources that are being provided. First is the introduction to APM exam. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Advanced performance management reflects the strategic role of management accounting as a discipline for planning and controlling performance so that strategic objectives can be set, monitored, and controlled. You will be expected to apply relevant knowledge and skills and exercise professional judgment in selecting and applying strategic management accounting techniques to the different business contexts you are presented with. We know that students who have completed the ethics and professional skills module are significantly better prepared for this exam. So make sure you plan the module into your studies. ACCA recommends studying with an approved learning partner and using study materials from our approved content providers. However you study, ACCA will support your learning journey with a range of free resources. The Examiner's Approach article is a good place to start. We also provide examiner's reports, which give constructive and detailed feedback. There are also technical and exam technique articles to further refine your knowledge and skills. To practice and perfect your exam technique, the CBE practice platform replicates the real exam experience and allows you to practice up-to-date exam standard questions before marking and reviewing your answers using detailed marking guides and model answers. There are 2 sections in the exam. Section A has 1 question worth 50 marks and is a detailed case study scenario focused on a range of issues from across syllabus sections A, C, and D. You should prepare by identifying appropriate formats and structures to use in answering questions and practicing writing answers in order to improve clarity. Section B has 2 25-mark questions. One of the Section B questions focuses mainly on syllabus section E, but may include a supporting topic from another syllabus area. The other Section B question can come from any other syllabus section. Using the resources available from ACCA and your learning partner is a proven route to exam success. So good luck with your Advanced Performance Management exam from everyone at ACCA.
So yeah, this was the, you can say, a brief introduction that is being provided by the ACCA itself. And then there's a CB introduction. For those who have not attempted the exam till now, and the APM will be their first exam, so they need to have an idea about what's the CB platform is, because it will be used for giving your exam.
There are a series of initial instruction pages. You have 10 minutes to read these before the exam automatically begins. This is the main screen in your digital workspace. It introduces you to the exhibits you will use to complete the requirements set within the exam. The numbers match the exhibits on the left-hand side of the workspace. This screen can be resized using the splitter bar. This is your exhibit list. Clicking on each one opens it in a new window. You can close exhibits by clicking on the X. These are your question requirements, which open and close in the same way. And these are your response options, where you will answer the requirements, word processor, and spreadsheet. You can move and resize the exhibits, requirements, and response option windows. Let's explore other functionality within the workspace. Currency symbols are accessed by selecting the symbol button. You can highlight information within the exhibits and requirements in a variety of colors. Choose the text you wish to highlight and select your color. You can also strike through text. Select the required text and click on Strike Through. You can remove both of these annotations by selecting the relevant text and clicking on Strike Through a second time, or by selecting Remove Highlight. There is an on-screen calculator that you can switch between standard and scientific mode. Most students choose to bring their own calculator to the real exam. This is permitted, providing it does not have the facility to store or display text. There is a scratch pad where you can make notes. These notes are retained throughout the exam. However, they are not submitted for marking. You can close all open windows by selecting Close All on the main screen in your digital workspace. Any answers you have entered into the response options or highlighting you've done on the requirements or exhibits will be saved. The Flag for Review button allows you to mark a question for review later in the exam. The Navigator button allows you to move between questions and to view questions you have flagged for review. Here you can see question 1, which we just flagged. You can also use the Previous and Next buttons to move through the exam. This button gives you access to guidance on how to use the workspace, the formulae sheet, or tax tables relevant to your exam, as well as a copy of the exam instructions. Its name will be specific to the exam you're taking. When you've finished the exam, click Next at the bottom of the workspace. You'll see the item review screen, which gives you the opportunity to review or revisit your answers before you exit. It also confirms that you have attempted each of the requirements. Click End Exam to submit your answers and confirm you wish to do so. A confirmation screen signals the end of the exam.
So yeah, this was about the CB platform. And now comes the professional skills, because as those who have attempted, but like SPL, several PI you have attempted this exam, so there also professional skills are required. But for APM, it comprises of 20 marks. So you have to be aware of all the 4 skills which are there. First is the communication skill, which says that Section A questions in APM, they always ask for a report, because it is a report writing that is of 50 marks. which is being requested by an organization's senior management to address key matters facing the organization. Once we'll start solving the question, then you will have a better idea what they're saying about. So this report should have the appropriate report headings, subheadings, and an introduction which explains the content of the report to be followed. So the candidate response in the body of the report should be professional and use appropriate language and be clear and effective. It is all about the communication, how well you are communicating, being a professional, how you're drafting your answer. So they require that. Then comes the analysis and evaluation. So all APM questions will include this professional skill as it is fundamental to performance management. So it is common for APM question to focus on the evaluation of a report since you are answering the question. So you need to analyze and evaluate. So the evaluation of a report, model, method, system, or technique, of which part may be the analysis of some data or information. So it is key to remember that in APM, any analysis or evaluation is contextual and must take into account the situation in which the organization in the question operates. So analysis, it can be demonstrated by the appropriate use of the data, information to determine suitable calculation in order to support your evaluation. So the ability to draw appropriate conclusion from the data or information that is being analyzed should be demonstrated so that appropriate responses can be designed, like whatever answer you're providing and advices that is being given. So identifying where data appears to be omitted of where further analysis is needed to make a recommendation is also important. So in evaluation is a balanced appraisal to determine the impact of a course of action, for example, changing an organization's reward system. So part of that is to demonstrate reasoned judgment to consider all relevant factors that are being applicable and decide what to prioritize and then come to a suitable and justified conclusion. Now comes the skepticism. So having a questioning approach is a key for this skill. So that questioning, you need to have a questioning mind. Like questioning needs to lead to effective challenges of information. If any information is being provided, why is it provided? So challenges of information, of evidence provided, as assumptions stated. So this includes the ability to identify the contradictory evidences and remaining skeptical about information that has been provided in the scenario. So APM often bases questions on theoretical performance management models, which include the assumptions and therefore may not perfectly fit an organization situation, and candidates need to be prepared to raise such issues. So once you are aware of all the models, then you can easily identify whether the question is saying if particular model is being applied, whether it is being correct or not. Okay. Then comes APM often has stakeholders in question scenarios, making statements about the beliefs and perceptions of a matter, and candidates can be required to challenge those statements. So these challenges, however, cannot simply be in the abstract. So reasons for issues and problems are needed before challenges can be upheld and deemed appropriate. Then comes the commercial acumen. So all APM questions are set in commercially realistic scenarios. So these can range from private to public sector organizations and also to non-profit organizations and regulated industries. So this requires candidates to understand what does and does not work in such an organizational context, and therefore any advice or recommendations have to be practicable and plausible in the given situation. In order to demonstrate the skills effectively, the candidate will be needing to use the question scenario information to draw evidence that relate to the organizational context, but also take any other practical considerations into account. So organizations do not operate in a vacuum, so candidates need to look at external constraints as well as opportunities where relevant, and also consider the validity, reasonableness of any assumptions that an organization may be working under given the external environment. So these are basically the 4 skills that are required while answering your questions. So it comprises of 20 marks in your exam. So 80 marks is your knowledge base and 20 marks is your skills. So how you're writing your answer. So 10 marks will be in your first, make you understand, but 10 marks will be in your section A and 10 marks will be in section B. That will be divided into 5 marks. So this was about the professional skills. Then examining team guidance is being given. So you should be going through it once you have completed the subject to this. And syllabus, I'll make you go. Then all the learning and revision for this, various resources are being available, which you can go through simultaneously as you're completing your chapter. The examiner reports, the technical articles, I will be covering in the classes along with the chapter, and the exam techniques and all are being provided. So this is for your help, which the ACCA has provided. Now I'll go through the syllabus part. So APM is one of the 4 strategic professional options examination in the ACCA qualification. So this articles, it begins by considering the syllabus and overall aim of the exam and how it links to the other exam and format of the exam. So there are 6 syllabus areas which are broadly classified into strategic planning and control, performance management information system and developments in technology, strategic performance measurement, performance evaluation, and the professional skills, employability and technology skills. So in strategic planning and control, so the syllabus introduced candidates to the strategic role of management accounting as a discipline for planning and controlling performance so that the strategic objectives can be set, monitored and controlled. Here, candidates will be expected to use the strategic and planning and control models to plan and monitor organizational performance. This emphasizes the need to take a holistic view of the factors, both internal and external environment, affecting the business, and to consider them when giving strategic advice on performance management and measurement solutions. So good candidates at APM often distinguish themselves by being able to synthesize disparate detail points into an overall strategic approach for an organization. Then comes the performance management information system and developments in technology. Here, APM requires candidates to identify and evaluate the design features of effective performance management information system. This does not mean having a detailed technical knowledge of the hardware and software, but instead be conversant with the broad hardware and software trends and issues and how these interact with the provisions of performance information throughout the organization. So it is the effect of these technologies on the performance management decision-making process and subsequent reporting of the performance. Then comes the strategic performance measurement. So application of appropriate strategic performance measurement techniques in evaluating and improving the organization performance will be required. This capability requires the application of the performance measurement techniques of APM and its assumed knowledge in specific scenarios. It could range from the private sector companies, public sector organization, not-for-profit organization, multinational businesses, and regulated industries. Then comes the performance evaluation. So the syllabus then moves to the scope and application of high level of performance measurement techniques in a variety of contexts, including complex business structures, having covered the strategic aspect of performance management and operational system for the measurement and control of performance. Professional skills, I have given you the detailed explanation what are all about. So while answering, you will be getting more clear idea how to apply these skills. Then comes the employability and technology skills. So the syllabus concludes with outcomes relating to the demonstration of appropriate digital and employability skills in preparing for and taking the APM examination. This includes being able to access and open exhibits, requirements, and responses options from different sources, and being able to use the relevant functionality and technology to prepare and present response options in a professional manner. So these skills are specifically being developed by practicing and preparing for the APM exam using the learning support content for computer-based examiner that is being available by the practice platform. Now comes the exam format. How will be the format of the exam? So this is a 3-hour, 15 minutes test. So there are 2 sections in the exam. Section a single compulsory question. So in section A of the exam will always be a 50-mark case study based on an organization in a particular business context. Here, only in this question, you will be requiring your communication skills because you have to write this answer in the form of a report. So the 50 marks will comprise 40 technical marks and 10 professional skill marks. All the professional skills will be examined in section A. That is all your skills that I have explained you. Then comes, it is likely to include the organization mission statement and strategic objectives, and candidates will be expected to be able to assess the methods by which the organization is controlling, managing, and measuring performance in order to achieve its objectives. So this assessment could include an evaluation of organization performance report, its information systems, new strategies or projects, and performance management and measurement system. Candidates should understand that they will be expected to undertake calculations. Calculations will not be very major, it will be minor calculations. Then draw comparisons against relevant information where appropriate and be prepared to offer alternative recommendations as being needed. So management accountants are required to look across a range of issues which will affect organizational performance, the achievement of objectives, and impact on operations. And so candidates should expect to see section A of the exam focus on range of issues from syllabus sections A, B, and C. These will vary depending on the business context the case study in section A is based on. So it will ask, section A questions will basically ask candidates to produce a response in a specific format. For example, a report to the board of directors. Then comes the section B. So here you will be having 2 compulsory questions that will be 25 marks each. So candidates will be required to answer a further 2 25 marks questions in section B of the exam, which normally comprise of scenario-based questions. So the 25 marks will comprise of 20 technical marks and 5 professional skills marks. In the section B, your communication skills will not be tested. Section B questions will examine a combination of professional skills appropriate to the question. Each question will examine minimum of 2 professional skills from analysis and evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen. So one of the section B questions will mainly come from syllabus section D. However, the other section B question can come from any other syllabus section. So section B question will also require candidate to address a range of issues influencing performance of organization in specific business situations. So professional skills from September 22, marks will be awarded in APM for demonstration of the skills of communication, analysis and evaluation, skepticism, and commercial acumen. In terms of earning these professional skill marks, the examining team will be looking for the skill to be evident in respect of the technical point you are making in your answer. Though it is a theoretical exam, but the way you are answering the question is very important for the examiner. It is important, therefore, the candidate understand what these professional skills are and details that can be found in the APM syllabus and the study guide. So what is important to remember is that professional skill marks are being earned by providing comprehensive and relevant responses to these technical requirements. So then in terms of use of dates and all that, I will explain you how. So, and then time management is there. So if 3 hours, 15 minutes exam is there, so 15 minutes you can allocate for your answer, like reading the question and deciding which section to attempt first or which answer to attempt first. So that way you can manage the time. So yeah, this was all about the syllabus. So here you can see the different parts of the syllabus I have explained you, but to the chapter wise, as they were mentioning, like section A will focus on which part, section B will focus on which part. So here you can see in section A, following chapters are there. In section B, these chapters, then section C, then section D and E, okay, and section F. So I will be sharing with you all this PDF, so where you can easily identify which all chapters are there, and I will be explaining it also to you, but it's just for your reference, I'm showing.
So, ma'am, in the 25 mark, one question will focus just on section D, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is your book, which you all must be having, right?
Ma'am, we do not have, I don't think so. We have the copy of this because there's no group this time.
Okay, you don't have the book right now?
No.
Okay. I'll ask the BG team like what's we're not having.
Yeah.
I have the hard copy. I have received it.
You have the hard copy, okay. So this is the book which is being provided by VG Learning. And here, like all the chapters are being given. You can see the 16 chapters are there. Along with that, question and answers are given for each chapter, which is easier for you. Like if you're completing one chapter, then you can like solve the questions simultaneously according to. I will be solving the questions also in the class. Once I'll be completing the chapter. For each chapter, after completing each chapter, I'll be solving the questions as well. So here the question and answers are there. So first, if any one of you, whoever is not having the book, please contact PG team. So you should be having your book. It is important.
We'll be going through everything through the book.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
I will be making you understand the topic through notes as well, but book is relevant.
Okay.
Can we get the soft copy for this, or
Yes,
we have
yes.
to get
Yeah,
only
you
the
can,
hard copy?
you can ask the team, they will provide you the soft copy.
Okay.
I think they will provide the hard copy as well, but I think we'll have to ask again. Ma'am,
I think you
if
can download it from the VGLD portal itself. You'll find a PDF.
yeah, I don't know if there's some renewal of my portal left. That's why I might not be able to see. I'll talk this week if I'm not able to see on Monday, Tuesday.
So meanwhile, I'll be sharing this PDF with you all. So you can have a revision till the time you're not getting your book. So here all the topics are covered. So first, that is strategic management accounting, your first chapter. So performance management refers to the continuous process of planning, monitoring, evaluating, and improving an organization performance to achieve the strategic goals. So it involves the setting of the clear objectives by the organization, providing feedback, and measuring the progress, and implementing the development plans, like how to enhance the efficiency and productivity. So performance management is like, you can say, the coherent process of analyzing the different processes, monitoring, evaluating, and improving an organization performance in order to achieve the goals of the organization. So what are the key aspects of performance management? That is the goal setting, establishing clear and measurable performance expectations, monitoring, that is tracking progress and providing regular feedback, evaluation, assessing performance that are being based on predefined criteria. Then comes the development and improvement, like offering training, coaching, and support to enhance performance wherever it is being required. So then comes the rewards and recognition, like motivating employees through various incentives, acknowledging by providing them bonus or performance management. It ensures alignment between individual efforts and organizational objectives, leading to and overall success of the organization. So now comes the performance measurement. It is the process of assessing and quantifying, measuring the efficiency, effectiveness, and outcomes of an individual team, organization activities, again, the predefined goals that are being set and the standards. So it basically involves the collecting of the data, analyzing the performance indicator, using the insights to drive the improvement. So it is basically the measuring of the performance of the organization. Key aspect of performance measurement are, first is the defining, like identifying the key performance indicators. This we are going to do in very detail in your third chapter. Then comes the data collection, like gathering relevant information through reports, surveys, or automated systems. Then comes the analysis and evaluation, like comparing the actual performance against the targets that are being set. Then comes the feedback and action. So using results to make the informed decision, improve the process, or reward achievements. So this is the performance management and measurement. Now comes the example of performance management in the workplace. So a company who wants to improve a customer service quality in its call center. What are the steps in performance management? First is the goal setting. That is, company set a goal for customer service representative to reduce the call resolution time from 10 minutes to 7 minutes while maintaining a 90% customer satisfaction rate. Then comes the monitoring. This goal has been set by the organization. Then comes the monitoring, whether the goal is being achieved or not. So manager, they track key performance indicator. What are the key performance indicator? Whether the call resolution time is being reduced or not. It is through the call duration, customer feedback, and issue resolution rates. Then comes the weekly reports and real-time dashboards are being used to measure the progress. Then comes the evaluation of the month. Managers review individual and team performance data. If a CSR is struggling, they analyze the reason. What is the reason? So that the customer service representative are not being able to reduce the call resolution time. If there is a lack of training or technical difficulties, so they can provide improvement for that. Then comes the development and improvement. So underperforming employees, they receive targeted coaching, role-playing exercises, and technical training. High-performing employees may be assigned as mentors to others. Then comes the rewards and recognition. Employees who meet or exceed goals, they receive bonuses, recognition in team meetings, or opportunities for which usually happens in the organization. Then constructive feedback is given to those who need improvement. So by following this structured performance management process, the continuous improvement in customer service efficiency and employee performance. The performance measurement. So employee performance measured through sales targets, customer feedback scores, or project completion rate. Then comes the company performance. It is accessed by the financial metrics like the revenue growth, profit margin, and market share. Operational efficiency, it is evaluated using production output, cost reduction, or process time optimization. So here the brief introduction you can say is being provided about the performance management and measurement, and it's being explained in very detail in rest of your chapters. Then comes the strategic planning and control. In strategic planning, what is the definition? It is the process of defining the organization, long-term vision and goals, then setting of objectives, developing strategies to achieve the competitive advantage. It is a long-term planning, basically strategic planning. It aligns resources, operations, and decision-making with the business goals. So what is the strategic planning process? In this, first is the mission and vision statement. So it defines the company's purpose, for what purpose the company is existing, what are the vision of the organization, what are the long-term aspirations. Then comes the situational analysis, that is the SWOT analysis. This we'll be doing in the later part of the chapter. That is assessing the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Then comes the goal settings, that is the SMART goals. We need to establish a specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound objectives. Then strategy formulation, like developing a roadmap for achieving objectives, including market and resource allocation. Then comes the implementation, like execute strategies through operational plans, resource allocation, and leadership initiatives. Then comes the monitoring and evaluation, that is regularly tracking the progress, measuring performance, and making adjustment as needed. So this is the, you can say, 6 points which specifies the strategic planning process.
Would we go deeper in this process, different pointers and process?
Not very deep. See, while you can say whole APM is revolving around this only. So once you are aware with all the chapter, with all the models, so you need to apply, you can say it's a brief steps that are being provided in this strategic planning. But in detail, when you will be going through all the rest of the chapters, so these steps can help you in framing of your answers and in analyzing like your question and all. So yeah, in detail, these steps don't need to be done. But yeah, you can say a brief, you can say idea you need to have, because in very detail, we will be doing in the rest of the chapters.
Okay.
Yeah. Then comes example of strategic planning. That is a tech company, they aims to expand into international market. What is their mission? To become a global leader in AI-driven software. Then what they do, they did the SWOT analysis. That is the strength, weakness, opportunities test. So they have they first identified their strengths. What was their strength? Was their innovative technology. Then they identified the weakness where they can work upon. That was the limited brand presence. Then comes the opportunities. That is the emerging markets. And what was the threat? Threat was the existing competition. So then comes the strategy. What strategy they had developed? That was to expand marketing in targeting countries, then develop localized product features according to the country, then form partnership with regional tech firms. Then comes the implementation, that is invest in global branding, hire regional sales teams, and enhance product support. This was all the strategic planning. Then comes the strategic control. So it ensures that the organization, they stays on track with its strategic plans. It involves monitoring, detecting deviations, and making corrective actions. So what are the types of strategic control? First is the premise control. It validates initial assumptions, that is the market trends or the actions of the competitors, to ensure that the strategy is being relevant. It does not become outdated. Then comes the strategic surveillance, broad monitoring of external and internal factors that may impact the strategy. Then special alert control, that is rapid response to unexpected, unprecedented situations, the economic turnedowns or the crisis. Then comes the implementation control, assess whether strategic initiatives are being executed effectively. Now comes the example of strategic control, that is a retail chain expanding to online sales, monitors key performance indicators and customer feedbacks. If digital sales underperform, the company may adjust its digital marketing strategy or the website design. So by identifying this, they can have a better control. Now comes this subject chapter, strategic management. So strategic management accounting is the use of financial and non-financial information to assist in strategic decision-making and long-term planning. So non-financial information are basically related to the, you can say, social factors, governance factor, or the environmental factor, and financial are being related to the financial metrics. So it integrates traditional accounting methods with business strategy to enhance the competitive advantage and organizational. So what are the key features of strategic management accounting? First is the focus on the external environment. Unlike traditional accounting, this strategic management accounting, what they do, they analyze the market trends, the competitive performance, and industry benchmark. So this analysis of the external environment is very important in order to upgrade or looking approach. It emphasizes the future oriented rather than just historical financial reporting. Then non-financial data integration, that is considers customer satisfaction, brand value, supply chain efficiency, and innovation impact. Then comes the decision-oriented. It aids in pricing strategy, cost leadership, market positioning, and investment decisions. Then comes the competitor analysis, that is examines the competitor strategy, cost structures, profitability to inform the strategic decisions. Now comes the Anthony's model of management control. So there are 3 levels of control, that is the strategic planning, management control, and operational control. So Robert and Anthony developed a management control framework that classifies decisions into 3 hierarchical levels. First is the strategic planning control, that is the top level management. Then comes the management control, that is your middle level management. And then comes the operational control, that is lower level management. So this model helps organization to effectively manage the resources, measure performance, and align operation with long-term objectives. So strategic planning, that is the top level management. It focuses on setting up the long-term business goals because top management are basically involved in defining strategies, allocating resources to ensure future success. It involves high-level decision-making and consider external factors such as the market trends, competition, and regulatory policies. Then what are the key characteristics? There is long-term focus, that is 3 to 10 plus years, unstructured, complex, and high-risk decisions, because all the, you can say, high-level decisions are being taken by the top level. Then requires external analysis, that is the market trends, competition, and economy. And it is being made by the CEOs, board of director, and the senior executives. You can see the chart over here, that is strategic, tactical, and operational, long-term, medium-term, and short-term. Then comes the examples of strategic planning, that is expanding into new international market. For example, if a organization, if a board of directors want to expand to a new geographical area, then comes acquiring or merging with another company, investing in new technologies or product innovations, or setting corporate goal targets or the revenue goals. Now comes the strategic planning tools, that is the balance scorecard, which we'll be doing in the later part of the chapter, which measures both financial and non-financial performance. SWOT analysis, that is identifying the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. Then comes the benchmarking, that is comparing company performance against the competitors and put of 5 forces, analyzes industry competition and market dynamics. So all 4 of them we are going to do in this chapter itself in very detail. Then comes the management control, that is the middle level of management. It focuses on implementing strategic plans by monitoring both financial and operational performance. It ensures that the resources are being used efficiently and department function optimally. It is basically medium-term focus, that is 1 to 3 years. Semi-structured decisions, that is balance, judgment, and data. Involves budgeting, performance measurement, and financial planning. It is made by the department heads, finance manager, and the business unit leaders. So what are the examples of management control? That is preparing and managing departmental budgets, evaluating employee performance through the KPIs, analyzing cost structures and profitability, and implementing internal financial controls. Then comes the management control techniques, tools, that is the variance analysis. It compares actual versus budgeted financial performance, activity-based costing, allocate cost based on activity driving expenses, key performance indicator, which measures efficiency, productivity, and effectiveness. And then comes the responsibility accounting, which assigns financial responsibility to the specific managers. Now comes the lower level of management, that is the operational control. So it ensures that the daily business activity, the routine activity are being performed efficiently and according to the set standards that are being done mostly by the middle level management. It involves structured decision making and focuses on the real-time performance monitoring. Key characteristics are the short-term focus, highly structured and routine decisions based on the real-time operational data, reports and workflows made by supervisors, team leaders, and the shift managers. Now, let's have a look at the examples. That is managing employee work schedules and task assignment, monitoring production efficiency and inventory levels, ensuring compliance with safety and quality standards, and handling customer service and complaint resolution. So operational control tools are the standard costing, that is comparing actual versus the expected production cost. Six Sigma and TQM focuses on process improvement. Throughput accounting optimizes production efficiency. Real-time dashboard tracks live operational data. So all these tools which are being provided is being explained in very detail in all the rest of your chapters. So you can say it's just a summary what you are going to study in the later chapters, this chapter. So comes the importance of Anthony's model in business. It helps in structured decision-making by differentiating between strategic, managerial, and operational functions. It ensures resource efficiency by aligning the strategic goals with the daily operations, improves financial and performance management by linking accounting control with the business strategy, and enhances accountability by assigning responsibilities across different levels of management. So by applying Anthony's model, business can improve strategic execution, operational efficiency, and financial control, ensuring long-term sustainability and the growth. So yeah. So now I will be giving you all a 10 minutes break. Today I'll be taking a 2-hour class. So now I'll be giving 10 minutes break. Let's connect after that, okay? Fine. Okay. All of you are back now. Okay. Rest of you. Shall I start the class? Okay. Thank you. So now, I'll start with this SWOT analysis. So SWOT analysis is acronym for strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So a SWOT analysis is a basically framework which helps in assessing and understanding the internal and external forces that may create opportunities or risk for an organization. So strengths and weaknesses are the internal factors. These are the internal factors, and they are characteristics of a business that give it a relative advantage or disadvantage respectively over its competition. And then comes the opportunities and threats, which is basically related to the external factors. So opportunities are elements of the external environment that management can seize upon in order to improve their business performance, like the revenue growth or the improved margin. So threats are elements of the external environment that may endanger a firm's competitive advantage. For example, if any competitor is rising up, so it may cause a danger to the firm or even its ability to operate as a going concern because that competitor might capture more market share. So think of regulatory issues also or technological disruptions. Then comes the examples. So strengths may be any number of areas or characteristics where a company excels. Strengths means what are they? You can say advantages points, where the company is performing well or where the company excels, has a competitive advantage over its peers. Advantage may be more qualitative in nature and therefore it is difficult to measure, like a great corporate culture, strong brand recognition, or the proprietary technology, etc. Or there may be more quantitative, like the best in class margins, above average inventory turnover, or category leading return on equity. Then comes the weakness. So what are the shortcomings or areas or characteristics where a business is at a competitive advantage relative to its peers, like strengths? These can also be more qualitative or quantitative. Examples could be include inexperienced management, high employee turnover, or low declining margins. That is, and high or excessive use of debt as a funding source. Then comes the opportunities, like this section should highlight the external factor as it is relating to the factors which are outside the organization that represents the potential growth or improvement areas for a business. So considers opportunities like a growing total addressable market, technological advancements that might help improve efficiency or changes in the social norm that are creating new markets or new subsegments of existing markets. Then comes the threats. These are external forces again that represents risk to a business and its ability to operate. So the categories tend to be similar to the opportunities section, but directionally opposite. So consider examples like an industry is in decline, which is the same as decreasing total addressable market, technological innovation that could disrupt the existing business and its operations, or evolving social norms that make existing product offering less attractive to a growing number of consumers. Here comes the chart for SWOT. That is, strength is the characteristics of a business that give it an advantage over its competitor. Weakness, characteristic of a business that put it at a disadvantage relative to its competitor. Opportunity, elements in the company's external environment that allow it to formulate and implement strategies in order to improve the performance. And threats are the elements in the external environment that could endanger the business, its profitability, or its competitive advantage. So here you can see the chart once. The good, that is what we've got, strengths, what resources can we deploy, what are our advantage, what's working well. Then comes the weakness, not so good, but what we've got, like which is relating to the organization, that is the internal factor. What abilities are we lacking? What are we starting to struggle? And how can we overcome this? Then comes the what's out there, like what is related to the external environment. That is the good opportunities. What might you most value our strengths? What trends work in our favor? What prices are within reach? And threats are what headwinds do we face that is not so good, and what's out there, who might challenge us, or what could go wrong. So these questions helps in identifying the various strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. So please have a look over it once. Then comes how to conduct a SWOT analysis. So it is rarely completed in isolation. It generally makes up one or part of a broader business analysis. And while it is an assessment framework, why assessment framework? Because here it can be easily identified what could be the strengths for an organization, what could be the weakness, what could be the opportunities and threats. So basically, it is a form of an assessment that is being done. So it is an assessment framework. A SWOT analysis is also an effective tool to help summarize other findings. For example, an analyst can't really assess a company's strength or weakness without first understanding the business and its industry. So it is imperative to first understand what is the business of the organization and in which industry it is operating. They may wish to leverage other tools and frameworks in order to accomplish this, including Ansoff matrix. So all these matrix also will be done in very detail. This will help visualize the relative risk of a management team's growth strategies, financial ratio analysis. It will help identify the trends year over year, as well as firms' relative performance using benchmarking data. The same is true for the external factors, that is the opportunities and threats. So it's nearly impossible to understand these without first understanding the industry life cycle. If an external analysis is being done, first you need to identify the industry life cycle. What does it? Does the business operate in a growing, mature, or a declining industry? So that needs to be identified. This itself informs both the opportunity and the threats. An analysis of the broader business environment or the industry itself, this think framework like the PESTEL or Porter 5 forces. So what is SWOT analysis basically used for? It is used differently by different stakeholders. For example, a management team will use the framework to support strategic planning and risk management. It helps them visualize the firm's relative advantages, disadvantages in order to better understand where and how the organization should allocate resource, either towards growth or risk reduction initiative that needs to be understood. So then the analysis community, on the other hand, may seek to understand, that is quantify the strength, weakness, opportunities and threats in order to assess the business more completely. Consider that findings from a SWOT analysis may help inform model assumptions among analysis. It could be an equity researcher trying to estimate the fair market value of a company's share, or a credit analysis looking to a better understand a borrower's credit worthiness. So in both, you can say it is important. In general, the SWOT framework is considered by many to be one of the most useful tools available to the strategic planning and business analysis. Now comes tips for an effective SWOT analysis. First is be realistic, that it's tempting to gloss over weakness and exaggerate the strengths, but this urge needs to be resisted. Actual truth, you can say authentic data should be available. An honest assessment is essential. Then only corrective actions can be taken. Then comes be specific. Vague statement like good customer service or tough competition are less useful. Then specific observation like 24/7 customer support, competitive X new product launch. Then involve multiple stakeholders. They don't rely solely on the leadership team's perspective. Solicit input from frontline employees, customers, and even external partners for a 360-degree view, for a better holistic view. Then comes prioritize, that is not all strength, weakness, opportunity, threats are treated equal. Focus on the most impactful and the urgent items. Then comes the pair with other tool, that is SWOT analysis pair with other strategic frameworks like the PESTEL analysis, Porter 5 forces, or the business model canvas. Use them together for a robust strategy toolkit. Then comes the move towards action, that is SWOT analysis is just that, an analysis. You need to take the momentum from this process and develop a coherent strategy that plays to your strength, motivate others, and provides a clear vision for the future, even if it's taking some difficult decision. So remember, SWOT analysis is not an end in itself. it's a means to an end. The real values lies in the strategic decision and action it informs. So let's have a look from the book as well. So here, all this I have completed. So from the book, I'll be doing the example part. That is Flipkart turning logistics weakness into a competitive advantage. So Flipkart, a leading e-commerce platform in India, initially faced a major weakness in its logistic networks. In its early days, they relied on third-party delivery services, leading to inconsistent service, delayed deliveries, and customer dissatisfaction. Now, how it is being converted to strength? What actions they have taken, what strategies they have devised. Recognizing this as a critical issue. Now, see, they are very true to their data. They are not making false assumptions or making false claims. By recognizing this as a critical issue, Flipkart took a bold step and started building its own logistic network, that is e-cart logistics. This was a significant investment, but it allowed them to gain better control over delivery timelines, improve the customer service, and reduce cost. Since it is in-house, so obviously there will be a cost advantage, better control over the delivery timelines, and you can say better customer service can be provided. What was the impact? By building its own logistic network, turned out to be a game changer for Flipkart. Today, e-cart logistic is considered one of the most efficient delivery networks in India, covering over 90% of the country's PIN code. It has enabled Flipkart to offer faster deliveries, competitive pricing, and a seamless customer experience, contributing significantly to its success. Then what was the analysis being done? First was the weakness was being addressed. That is lack of control over delivery experience and high cost data was being associated with the third-party services. Then comes the action taken, build a dedicated logistic network. What was the outcome? Improved customer services, faster deliveries, reduced cost, and a competitive advantage. Now comes the example of Reliance, that is turning threat into an opportunity. First was what? Turning weakness into logistics weakness into a competitive advantage. Now turning threat into an opportunity. Threat was high mobile data tariffs dominated the Indian telecom market, limiting internet access for a large population. What was the opportunity which Reliance saw? To disrupt the market by offering significantly lower data prices. Now, what action they took? They launched 4G mobile services in 2016 with aggressive data pricing, making internet data affordable for all. We all knew this. Offered free voice calls and bundled app with subscriptions. Focused on rapid network expansion and improving internet infrastructure. What was the outcome of it? Jio's disruptive pricing strategy, it led to a massive influx of new subscribers, revolutionizing the telecom landscape in India, increased internet penetration and mobile data consumption across the entire country. Jio became the leading telecom operator in India, forcing competitive price reductions and benefiting consumers. Okay. So here you can see activities being given. So Novagen is the national airline of a small country in the European Union. It is one of the oldest and most respected airlines in the world. The company is based at Emerald Coast Airport, one of the busiest airports in the world. This coupled with alliances that the company has made with other airlines, which means that the airline can take advantage of passengers from other less well-connected airports, which connected Emerald Coast for longer flights. Recently, the company has been suffering stiff competition on certain routes from low-cost airlines who offer no frills service. Due to their lower cost base, these low cost airlines are able to offer passengers much lower fares than Novagen charges. So the European Union is now introducing a tax fuel in an attempt to reduce the impact of greenhouse gases that are being caused by airlines. This will significantly increase the cost of the airline. So based on the information that is being provided, perform a SWOT analysis on Novagen and suggesting any opportunities that the airline may focus on for each strength and weakness that are being identified, suggest an indicator that could be used to measure the effect of it. So what I want is please go through the question once. Think what could be the answer. Okay. Yes, Savapra, you have any question?
Yes, ma'am. So,
Okay.
you'll be sharing the your notes, right?
Yes, yes. I will be sharing my notes
So,
regularly after every class.
so then that and like the activities and the examples in our book, can
Okay.
we just focus on those, like to rather than theory,
You
because
can
you're
focus,
already
yeah.
explaining that, so it's
Yeah,
better
yeah,
to.
that is fine because I'm covering the most, you can say most of the part. But yeah, if you want to go through the book once, you can go. But yeah, essentially I'm completing all the topics. So
So
for
do you,
example, I'm taking the book, yeah.
would there be need to go through activities again post class, or what, like
It
we are going
depends
through it
upon
once?
it depends upon your understanding. If you want, you can go. It's your discretion.
Okay, and apart from that, questions, if we are doing questions, it will be all fine, all good. That
Yeah,
would cover
yeah,
everything.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So please go through this activity once and think of the answer. What could be the answer since you all are clear with this concept SWOT analysis? Any question any one of you have regarding SWOT analysis?
You can clear the company and- The logos are much tax on fuel.
Once done with the question, please let me know. Then I'll go to the answer part.
So their opportunity would be positioning themselves at the price point they are, because the low cost airlines now would have to increase their prices if there's a tax on fuel. I'm not sure really how to.
Whatever answer you have, just think of it. What could be the like solution? Then I'll go to the answer so you'll have a better understanding. Shall I move to the answer part? Okay. Rest of you? Are still doing? Please let me know. Okay, yeah. Please provide me with an answer like still you are doing or shall I go to the solution? So I'll be aware like what's the status. Yes. Okay, thank you for your response. So here you can see the strength, weakness, and opportunities and threats are being defined. So what was the strength? First was the national airline, the flag carrier. Good reputation. As we see in the first line itself, it is a national airline of a small country. It is one of the oldest and most respected airlines in the world. So that was the strength. Good location at major airport, second strength. You can see it is based at Emerald Coast Airport, one of the busiest airport in the world. Alliances with the other airlines. Again, it is being given, this coupled with alliances that the company has made with other airlines means that airline can take advantage of passengers that is from other less well-connected airports. So these you can see in the first part, the strength is being provided. Flag carrier, the effect of being the flag carrier would be difficult to measure. Customer questionnaires might be used, asking customer whether or not the fact that the airline is a flag flyer had any influence on their decision in choosing to fly with Novajet rather than with a competitor. Reputation, this can be measured by consumer survey, like how what is the reputation of the airline is. It could be identified through the customer feedback. Then location, this is often measured by the average distance that is being traveled to the airport, which can be compared to average distances to the other airport. Number of passengers passing through the airport might be another measure. Then alliances with the other airlines, impact of this could be measured by the number of passengers who are directed to a Novajet flight from other airlines flight. Weakness, higher cost base. This could be measured by benchmarking against the competitor, like what are the prices that are being charged by the competitor. Indicator might include the cost per passenger kilometer, that is total cost divided by the number of passengers into the kilometers traveled. What was the opportunities? That was focus on the business passengers, that is less price sensitive, business class, that is. And threat is competition from low cost airlines, that is additional fuel taxes that is being imposed by the European Union. So that is the threat. So what was the benefit of SWOT analysis? It enhances strategic decision making by aligning choices with internal strengths and weaknesses, ensuring appropriate for the organization, directs management focus on the external factors, addressing threats and opportunities, and enabling proactive planning for changes like the market declines. Right? Now comes the PESTEL analysis. So PESTEL is the acronym for political, economic, social, technological, environment, or legal. So PESTEL analysis is a strategic framework commonly used to evaluate the business environment in which a firm operates. SWOT analysis was also, you can say, an assessment framework that was also used in strategic planning and business too. Traditionally, the framework was referred to as a PEST analysis, which was an acronym for the political, economic, social, and technological. But in more recent history, the framework was extended to include environment and legal factor as well. So here you can see the various factors are there. That is the political, social, environmental, legal, technological, and economic factors. Now your questions are going to come on this only. SWOT analysis, or PESTEL analysis, Porter 5 forces, BCG matrix. So once you are clear with this model, so you can easily do any question. So this chapter 1 is very important for you because here the main models are being given, which will be comprising your one question from this chapter will be coming. any of the model will be tested. Okay.
So, ma'am,
So-
like the activity that we did a few minutes back, so
Yes.
will we have the same kind of questions that we've been given a lot of information and then we have to,
Yeah, somewhat similar, you can say. It was a very small part that has been given,
yeah,
but the question that will be coming that will test you in various topics. So
okay,
in
yeah,
APM, it is very important that you are completing all your chapters. You can't leave some topics and say, okay, I'm leaving this chapter, which usually students do, and
Mm.
cover this chapter. When APM, what happens, they can test you on any topic because they are giving various topics in a single question only they are testing. Okay.
yeah,
So
okay,
that you have to do your whole syllabus like thoroughly. You can't miss out any of the topic. Keep
okay,
this in mind, okay?
yeah.
So this framework is being used by management teams and boards in the strategic planning processes and enterprise risk management planning. Pestle analysis is also a very popular tool among the management consultant because it helps their client develop more innovative products and market initiatives as well as within the financial analyst community, because here you are having information data of all, we can say, of all the whether it is internal environment or the external environment, you are having every detail. So here, if like can say, analysts can make a better judgment because since they're at the disposal of all the information they're having. So where factors may influence model assumptions and financing decisions. Key point from a pestle analysis can be incorporated into other industry and firm level frameworks such as the Ansoff matrix, Porter 5 forces, and the SWOT analysis. First comes the political factors. So if I say political factors, so which first thing comes into your mind?
Like the government policies, actions, their regulations.
Right, correct. So broadly speaking, political factors are those which are being governed or directed by the government actions and the policies. They include but are not limited to considerations like the corporate taxation, other fiscal policy initiatives, free trade disputes, or antitrust and other anti-competition issues. It's worth noting that even the overhang of potential trade dispute or antitrust issues can represent material risk and opportunity for the management team. So here the divergent stances on key platform issues between parties on the left and the right can make runs up to election particularly challenging for a firm's management team, as the range of possible outcome that can vary depending on the election results. So political factor, you can say it is basically the government role that is influencing the various policies that are bringing up, which might affect the company's operations. So as you can say, various governments are entering into various treaties with the various countries, various memorandum of understandings are being formed. So that way it affects the organization's business as well. So a multinational company closes several facilities in a higher stat restriction in order to relocate operations somewhere with lower tax rates and or greater state funding and grant opportunities. So here you can see the example of political factor, that is of Make My Trip. Government initiatives promoting tourism and digital payments. So here is the role of the government. That is opportunities, increased travel demand due to tourism promotion, wider adoption of digital payment facilitating online bookings. Challenges, that is regulatory changes impacting travel fares and commissions, potential data privacy concerns. Outcome, Make My Trip capitalize on the tourism push by expanding partnerships and services. They also adapted to digital payment regulation and invested in data security measures. Additionally, they advocate for policies favoring on online travel platform. So this was about, you can say, the political factors. Then comes the economic factors. Economic factors, it relates to the economy of the country. So it relates to the broader economy and tend to be expressly financial in nature. They include the interest rates, the employment rates, inflation, and the exchange rates. Many analysts in the financial service sector tend to overweigh economic factors in their analysis since they are more easily quantified and modeled than some of the other factors in this framework, which are somewhat qualitative in nature. Economic factor example could be based on where we are in the economic cycle and what treasury yields are doing, and equity research analysis may adjust the discount rate in the model assumptions, or it can have a material impact on the valuation of the companies they cover. So here is the example, that is economic factor, rising disposable incomes and increasing health consciousness among consumers. That is challenge, potential decline in cigarette sales due to health concerns, opportunity, diversifying product portfolio to cater to changing preferences, focusing on non-cigarette FMCG products like the food, personal care, and stationery. What action ITC took? ITC invested heavily in research and development, expanding its non-cigarette FMCG business. They launched new products, acquired existing brands, and entered new categories like the dairy and education. What was the outcome? ITC successfully mitigated the risk of declining cigarette sales by growing its non-cigarette FMCG business, which now contributes significantly to its overall revenue. So this diversification strategy, it helped them adapt to the changing economic environment. Now comes the social factors. These tend to be more difficult to quantify than the economic ones. They refer to shifts or evolutions in the ways that stakeholders approach life and leisure. It is more of qualitative data, which in turn can impact commercial activity. So example includes the demographic considerations, lifestyle trends, consumer beliefs, attitude towards working condition. So it depends upon the, you can say person to person, you can't quantify this, right? So that is why it is difficult to measure. Social factor may seem like a small consideration relative to the more tangible things like the interest rates or the corporate taxation. Still, they can have a shockingly outsized impact on the entire industry as we know them. Why do you think so? They have more impact, these social factors?
Because it impact in basically long run, basically how the company operate in long run, and it will impact in basically long run how the company will operate. Like
Because
if we,
social involves customers as well, right? It might
Right.
impact the sales, that if the sales go down or zero, like what happened to, but Ola went bankrupt. But I think there would be cases where due to fall in reputation, people stopped buying from a company,
Right, right.
something like that.
Right. Yeah,
So social factors would have impact.
okay.
yeah, it more impact on reputational, basically reputational risk.
Yeah, correct. And if there is a change in the taste and preferences of the consumer, that could be also be easily identified, and the organization can upgrade their products and can, you can say, bring out more product lines according to it. So
Yes.
yeah, social factors are important because here the consumers are involved, and eventually why the organizations are working, they are directed towards consumer only. So here they play a very pivotal role. Consider how trends towards healthier and more active lifestyles have ushered in the evolution of connected fitness technologies, as well as many changes to the nature of food products we consume and how these food products are packaged and marketed. Social factor example, like post-pandemic, management at a technology firm has had to seriously re-evaluate hiring, onboarding, and training practices after an overwhelming number of employees indicated a preference for a hybrid work from home model. So here you can see the example of it. Now comes the NICA. So social factor, growing women's empowerment and evolving beauty standards, embracing diversity and inclusivity. What was the impact on NICA? Opportunity, cater to the needs of diverse women by offering a wide range of beauty products and promoting inclusivity. Then challenge addressing evolving preferences while maintaining brand identity and navigating potential controversies. Action, Nykaa expanded its product portfolio to cater to the different skin tones, hair types, and beauty preferences. They actively promoted inclusivity in their marketing campaigns and featured diverse models. Additionally, they partnered with women entrepreneurs and social influencers to connect with their target audience. So this was the action they had taken. What was the outcome? The Nykaa capitalized on the changing social landscape by promoting inclusivity and diversity. They resonate with modern women and have become a leading beauty platform in India. So this demonstrates their ability to adapt to the evolving social environment. Then comes the technological factors. So as the name suggests, what does it mean?
So it deals with the hardware, software, and how we inculcate technology
Right.
in our day-to-day work.
Correct. So in today's business landscape, as we know, technology is evolving continuously. So technology is everywhere and it's changing rapidly. Management team and analysts alike must understand how technological factors may impact an organization or an industry. As we know, AI, how is it working? So they include but are not limited to the automation, how research and development may impact both cost and competitive advantage, technology, infrastructure, and cyber security. Like more of the process are being getting automated. So now what is happening? The product life cycle time is also getting reduced. So technology is playing a very, you can say, crucial role now. The speed and scale of technology disruptions in the present business environment are unprecedented, and it has had a devastating impact on many traditional businesses and sectors. Think Uber upending the transportation industry, or the advent of e-commerce revolutionizing the retail trade as we know it. Since we've seen like this company Zepto and Blinkit, how instantly we are getting the items delivered at our doorsteps. So this is how technology is changing the environment. So technological factor example, a management team must weigh the practical and the financial implications of the transitioning from on-site physical server to the cloud-based storage solutions. So here comes the example of technological factor, that is Infosys. So that is rapid advancement in the artificial intelligence, cloud computing, and automation. Impact on Infosys, opportunity, like offers new digital services to clients, improve operational efficiency, and attract skilled talent. Challenge, that is to adapt to changing skill requirements, invest in new technologies, and navigate potential job displacement concerns. Actions, that is Infosys established innovation hubs, invested in talent development for emerging technologies, acquired companies that are specialized in AI and cloud computing. They also created internal reskilling program towards their employees and emphasized the human-machine collaboration aspect of automation. What was the outcome? That is Infosys successfully transitioned to a digital service company offering AI, cloud, and automation solutions to their clients globally. This adaptation to the technological environment has been a key driver of the growth and diversification. Now comes the environmental factor. So environmental factor, they emerge as a sensible addition to the original PREST framework. You can see the kind of global summit that are being happening because of the environmental concerns. So that is addition to the original PREST framework as the business community began to recognize that changes to a physical environment can present material risk and opportunities for the organizations. Example of environmental considerations are carbon footprint, climate change impact, that is including physical and transition risks, increased incidence of extreme weather events, stewardship of natural resources like the fresh water. So environmental factor is a pestle analysis will overlap considerably with those typically identified in an ESG, that is environmental, social, and governance analysis. In fact, it's widely believed that the addition of environmental factor to the pestle framework that is evolved from the growing popularity movement such as the corporate social responsibility and the ESG. Example, that is management at a publicly traded firm must re-evaluate internal record keeping and reporting tools in order to track greenhouse emissions after the stock exchange announced mandatory climate and ESG disclosure for all the listed companies. So let's have a look of the example first. That is Mahindra and Mahindra. That was increasing concerns about the air pollution and rising fuel prices. Opportunity in positioning itself as a leader in the electric vehicle market, tapping into a growing demand for sustainable transportation. Challenge, invest in research and development and manufacturing infrastructure since huge amount of capital was being required for establishment of electronic vehicles, compete with established automakers, and address range anxiety among consumers. Action, Mahindra invested heavily in developing and launching a range of electric cars and scooters. They formed strategic partnership with the global players, set up dedicating electronic vehicle manufacturing facilities, and offered innovative solutions like battery swapping station to address range anxiety. Now, what was the outcome? Mahindra became a leading player in the Indian electric vehicle market, capturing a significant market share. This proactive approach towards sustainability helped them stay ahead of the curve and capitalized on the growing demand for electronic vehicles. Now comes the last, that is the legal factors. These are those that emerge from the changes to the regulatory environment, which may affect the broader economy, certain industry, or even individual in business within a specific sector. They include but are not limited to the industry regulation, licenses and permits that are being required to operate, employment and consumer protection laws, and protection of the intellectual property. Regulations can serve as a headwind or a tailwind for operators. An example headwind might be increased capital requirement for financial institutions. An example tailwind is if regulation is so heavy in particular industry, let's say food production, that it may serve as a productive mode for established operators and creating an additional barrier for, you can say, potential new entrants. Now, let's have a look at the example. That is, a rating agency is assessing the credit worthiness of a technology firm that has considerable growth prospects in the emerging markets. So, the analyst must weigh the growth trajectory against the inherent risk of intellectual property, that is theft in some jurisdiction where legal infrastructure is being weak. So, IP theft can severely undermine a firm's competitive advantage. So, example is Ola, where you can see new regulation mandating driver background checks, vehicle safety standards, fare structure in ride-hailing industry. Now comes the impact on Ola. Challenge was to invest in driver training, background checks, upgrade vehicle fleets, and adjust pricing model to comply with regulations. So now the huge amount of investment is required for doing all these activities. Now, what was the opportunity? Improve service quality and safety, potentially benefit from stricter regulation, weeding out less complaint from competition. Now, there is an advantage since these are being followed. So obviously, there will be a reduction in the amount of complaint from the customers. Now comes action. Ola partner with training institute for driver background check and skill development. They upgraded their vehicle fleet with safety features and partner with car manufacturers to offer complaint action. Now there will be, you can say, less of accidents as well. Additionally, they adjusted fare structures to meet regulatory requirement. Now they have raised their fares also in order to, you can say, cover up the cost while maintaining affordability. Outcome, Ola successfully adapted to the changing legal landscape, improving service quality and safety. This adherence to the regulation help them maintain the market position and compete effectively. So here is the completion of this pestle analysis. So how it is being used in financial analysis, that is combined the 6 pestle factors can have a profound effect on the risk and opportunities for the firms. It's imperative that the analyst community must recognize this and attempt to quantify them in their financial model and risk assessment tool. Financial analysis may adjust model assumptions such as the revenue growth rates or gross margins that is being based on inflation expectation. A business that has done a poor job managing its carbon footprints may be subject to future fines or carbon tax levies, so analysts may wish to project a cash reserve accordingly. A changing macro and economic environment may require analysts at credit rating agencies to build in a higher interest rate buffer for sensitivity analysis when calculating a firm's debt service coverage ratio. So massive levels of automation in a particular industries are expected to reduce labor cost by X%, which would materially change the free cash flow estimates in the financial model. So this is the way pestle analysis CAD will help in the financial analysis. So yeah, I want to clarify this point, like all these examples are being given, it's just for your reference, okay, for your understanding. So once you are clear with all the factors so that you can easily apply in the question, okay? So you don't have to learn all this, you just need to be aware what says what. And while answering, you have to use the professional language. That needs to be kept in mind. And rest, any question any one of you have?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Anyone else?
Basically, my question is, can you please elaborate on more what approach we can follow in APM to score good, like from starting?
Sorry, your voice is a
I'm
bit.
saying that what approach we follow in APM to score good, like.
To store good marks, okay, first of
Yeah.
all, I will recommend that go through the chapters well. Once you are
Okay.
thorough with the chapters, now you can easily attempt any question. What students usually make mistake is that they don't do a thorough, you can say, study of the chapters. And they think like simply if you're seeing the pestle analysis, for example, or SWOT analysis, it will look very easier for you. Like it's not that difficult. But while you are drafting your answers, okay, you should be using the proper technical, you can say, words or terms while giving the answer. So that could only be done if you're thorough with the chapters and the proper definitions and everything that is being provided in your chapters, okay? So simply writing your answers in your own words, this is the mistake which usually students do. They know, I'm well with the like topic, I can write down any answer and all. So but what happens when they're attempting, they're using the very general language. That is where
They have to be use their like keywords, basically, you're saying.
basically.
Yeah.
And especially the skills, as you've seen, they have allocated 20 marks for your professional skills.
Yeah. So my question is basically how can we like approach for this 20 marks basically when we're doing the questions?
Yes, okay, I got your question. That you can get only through the question practice. Once you are done with your chapter, I will be doing the questions as well. But yeah, I can't cover all the questions in the class because the time is limited. But rest of the questions, you start do lots of question practice. And I will always recommend, don't do a simple reading like while solving the question. Don't do the reading part. Like, okay, I'm reading the question and I'm solving. Always try to write it down in the write and then do. Okay, because what is happening is that APM, as you've seen, it is the paper which gets the lowest pass percentage in APM.
Yeah.
So that is why where you have to work upon, because you have to write a lot. You have to do a proper time management and it could only come through practice.
So it's more about theory or it's like literal practical?
Yeah, it's more, you can say more of theoretical, but yeah, the application of the model, you can, as you've seen the activity also, here it is theoretical, but you can say it is practical also.
It's basically
Yes.
basically the practical point of view of the like concept which you have here studying.
Case study based are being given, and you're not required to do the calculation and all. No calculations are required. Question will be somewhat like this, only the activity one. Okay.
So we
But
have to
yeah.
we have to go through the gigantic APM book
Sorry.
all through.
Yeah.
We have to read all the contents of the gigantic APM book.
Yes, you have to read all the contents.
Okay.
I will be covering everything in the class. I will not leave out anything. I will be doing you can say the article which ACCA provides, a technical article, that also I will cover along with the chapters so that you all don't miss out anything. Okay.
For
But-
So
questions,
is it enough
the
time till June to
Mhm.
complete this
Yes.
entire book and practice everything?
Sorry, Bhaskar, your voice is not clear.
No, I was asking, is it enough time till June to complete the book entirely and practice as well?
Yes, you have sufficient. See, once I'll be completing the chapter, you are doing the classes at that moment only you are completing one chapter. Okay. So just in revision, you will not take much time.
Okay.
What you have to do is you have to make a proper revision of the chapters which I'm completing. Don't leave it to the end. Okay. Do the class and do the revision. That way it will not get slip out of your mind and you can easily retain everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
And basically for question, the VGLD publication is enough, or we have to do others like material?
Yeah, you have to refer this VGLD book because it's a good book.
Only VGLD is enough.
Yeah, that is enough. And you can say the notes I'll be providing.
Yeah, notes like
Have to
for
refer
questions.
that.
And basically, I'm
That is
focusing on
sufficient.
questions.
Don't go beyond that because too
Okay.
much information will cause a clutter. So you will get confused. That is sufficient. Do from this and do the question practice. That is sufficient.
And how much class you are targeting to complete like APM?
Yeah, my target is to complete it, you can say, by mid of May, you can say.
Mid of
I'll
May.
complete the
Okay.
syllabus, yeah, because in the first week of June, you'll be having your exam. So I'll give around 10-15 days for you, like before that only I'll complete so that you can do a proper revision. You're having at least 15 days.
All right.
Any other question? Don't worry, you all can do very well. I'll make sure that you are thorough with the subject. Once it's just the starting the first class, so I know there is a sort of apprehensions like how the subject is going to be. But it's a very good subject that I will tell you because it will help you in your professional career as well. That I can assure you.
Ma'am, tomorrow I won't be attending the class. Right now I'm on the on-site from my company, so I'm in Singapore. So I'll be
Okay.
traveling back.
Okay.
And will you teach more because I have to go.
I will be taking up the class. You can go to the backup, okay? That will be provided. For suppose if any one of you are not able to join the live class, you can take the backup. That will be available on the same day or the next day, okay?
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am,
And
for
if
today we are
yeah.
done, right?
Yeah.
For today we are done, right?
Yeah, for today we are done. And if any one of you have any question, you can immediately contact me on WhatsApp, okay?
Right.
Don't think that you are having any doubt and you're keeping it to yourself. You can contact me anytime, okay?
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Is there any WhatsApp group like for APM?
Yeah, there is a WhatsApp group. You are not added in the group?
No, not yet.
Please ask PG team to add you.
Okay, all right.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.